Hey guys, Utah here, Blueberry Hill. So we had a little bit of time off here. My daughter visited us from Canada. She came down here with her boyfriend for 2 weeks. We didn't do too much, but just before she came, I did a couple things. Here's I'm doing a little bit of trim work. I think that's probably a day or two before she shows up. It's on the 16th, and then basically after that, we didn't do a whole lot. So we just kind of partied and hang out. So good little vacation. Anyway, meanwhile, they were gone for a couple hours this day, so I decided to finish up the hearth on the fireplace. We poured a small hearth. It's about 2 inches thick, just for in front of the fireplace. Instead of buying something, we just had to make it. I had some leftover plywood and stuff, so I made a form real quick, lined it with plastic, and then poured some maximizer concrete, high strength stuff. Doesn't have to be high strength, but less likely it'll crack and stuff. And then I used my diamond grinder, weight grinder. You can see a hose going to it. Supplies water to itself, and I believe that's a 40 grit diamond disc on there. Does a really good job, very quick. The concrete's fairly young. It's only, I think, 3 days old when I'm doing this, so it's still soft. The longer you wait, the harder it is, and you'll have a little harder time grinding on it. But for the most part, this does the trick. It's plenty hard enough to do this for our purposes, and we're not doing a polished look. We're just doing a kind of a matte, quick grind on it, taking it down. I'll say about 1/8 of an inch, maybe more, to expose the aggregate and a few rocks that we placed in the form. So doing the edges and all that stuff came out real nice. I did add a little bit of black color to it. Can't really tell, but there's the finished product when it's wet. When it dries, it gets a little bit, of course, chalkier, more concretey, and we'll seal it and put it in place. But anyway, that was the end result. I think it turned out great. So on the 19th, a job came by from Specialty Roofing to start on the paneling on the outside of the house. We're using the panels we got with our free building. It was for a garage. There's a ton of the white, so we're making use of it. Job had to make, we actually got all the trim work. It's going to be charcoal black like our roof to match it up, and everything around the windows and all the trim paneling is going to be that color. So charcoal around everything, and white paneling on everything on the back side. The left and the front and the right side are all going to be dark blue. I'll call it navy. I think that's what Job called it as well. But it's a dark blue. It should look fantastic with the white. Anyway, we're going to make use of the free stuff that we have. Job's just charging us labor and for the trim, so everything's cool there. They work fairly quick. They have a lot of detail stuff to do, so it takes them a little while, and especially around the windows. The doors gave them a little bit of struggle because I put angle iron in there. I believe it was 3/16 inch thick, so you had to pre-drill and then do the metal screws into that. That took him for a little bit. The rest of it seemed to go pretty good, so he's moving along. I'll have more video later of his progress, probably when it start getting to some fun stuff. But anyway, you get the idea. I think we like the look, and took like 3-4 days of this, and most of the backside is now done. So just for fun, I'll let it roll here a little bit. This is all time lapse, of course, but you see their progress. It does take them quite a bit to do all the trim work. The top and bottom don't seem to pose too much problems for them, but doing all the window trim, etc., is a little more work. They're trimming on the outside of the frames that we have for the windows themselves, so it's going to be white, black trim, and then the gray of the window, which kind of looks pretty neat in my opinion. But anyway, well, we might end up painting that black. I don't know. I don't think so at this point, but we do like the look, the final look of the three colors together. So a little bit of contrast, looks good, and they're just moving along. So 1st of November, after a couple of weeks of fun and some work, I started working on the trim work around the doors. We had about, I believe, like 50 or 60 boards. Here you see me just doing the trim work. Basically I do the left side, right side. I cut 4 boards at a time for the height of the door. They're all standard. I'm actually cutting them on the inside bevel the same. They all come out nice and even, and then I measure the top section, slide it in place. Works pretty good, fairly easy to do. It's quite fast actually. I think each door, running back and forth to the garage and cut stuff, takes, let's say 10 minutes to do the door, 15 maybe, and fairly quick. So here I'm working on the pocket door, which is in the closet. We have the same one in the master bath and the pantry. Needs a little bit of extra trim around the inside of where the sliders are and where the door goes. I liquid nailed those in place on the sides and of course nailed the ones on the top. The nails do go through, it's a metal frame. If you remember seeing possibly some video early on when I was framing, they're metal frames. They're fairly thin, so you could actually punch a nail through it. I'm using 1.5 inch nails. They don't touch the door, of course. You got to make sure of that. So I use small nails on that side, and then the longer nails on the rest of the door to go in the 2x, because you're going through wallboard, the board, and into 2x. So anyway, the liquid nails did the trick. I'll use some tape to hold the trim in place in a few minutes here, and we call it good. And that's all we could do that day. I ran out of board, so we'll come back to it in about a week and a half. Hey guys, we're here at Blueberry Hill. So November 1st, I basically had 2 weeks of not working on the house. I had my daughter down here with her boyfriend and had a great time. Kind of relaxed, just partied a little bit, drank a few beers, and really good visit. Anyway, I've been doing, you saw me doing the trim on the baseboards and the doors. I ran out of board, so I'm done. So I just finished this one. You saw me do this one here. I'm using, I'm not sure how they actually do this stuff, but because it's a pocket door, there's metal trim in there. The frame I got was metal, and a couple times I could actually sink nails into it. That's what the nails went into the metal support on this side, but not so good from this side because I guess I might have hit the angles or whatever. But anyway, for the most part, that door's done. Let me walk through the house real quick. Basically all the main trim work is finished. For the doors, I need probably about 10 more 8-footers. We get it's kind of dark in here. Let me turn the light on. And anyway, that was the first step, is actually doing the framing on the doors so we can then do the baseboards. I have one full board left and a bunch of little ones, so I can actually do some of the little pieces, like right there. I can finish that kind of stuff, but I don't have any long pieces left. I have one, and most of the stuff, the doors are done, let's put it that way. And I have to count up how much I need. I'm guessing around a handful, 10, and we'll knock it out. So it's getting done. I figure if they have it in Home Depot, I'll be able to kind of finish hopefully this week. I'm stuck at this point. I'll have to flip to something else. And the cool part is that Job and his buddies are here doing the metal work. So let me flip to that. There they are. Yay! We're getting the upside done. It's looking pretty good. I did some time lapse on them doing the other side. And we're getting things done. So awesome. They're going to be several weeks out. I'm not sure why Job didn't order the blue siding already. I thought he did, but the rest of the house, front and left, right sides, both sides of the house are going to be blue, dark blue. The white, as you can see right here, I think it's actually a grayish white. It's not white, but it's looking pretty good. I think after this we'll be able to put the lights up in the back, which is going to be fantastic. That's going to make the rear, we can turn the lights on and actually see something back there, because right now at nighttime it's really dark out there, depending on the moon. But we're moving along, right back to it. Another note, Job just put this up temporarily. That's a dirty piece, but we have all those
eaves over there and that big pile of stuff. I think part of our chore is going to be taking the protective plastic off of it, but that's what it's going to look like all along underneath the house, so yay. Meanwhile, in the back of the house, Job is working hard. A lot of panels on the floor. I'll switch this over to a time lapse in a minute here.
And you more confident and carefree. Get 48 hours of effective sweat and odor protection.
They're having fun.
There, I switched over to time lapse, so you'll see them working on the bedroom, master bedroom. There's 4 big windows right there, so they're working on a lot of trim work, top, bottom, and around the windows themselves. And then they fill in the panels. Not too many panels. Most of the time they spent is doing the trim, but they're doing a good job. We like the look, and basically the panels at least are what we call free from Bill. Gave us the whole building, so we're doing great there. Anyway, just gonna finish up the video. This video next is gonna be a little bit of talk about the cellular modem, wireless internet, and we'll go from there, and then we'll switch back to more work on the house. Anyway, later.